Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am really glad you're here because today I'm going to try out a new tool. First time for me, so maybe it'll be the first time for you to see it in action. I'm back here in the woods where a giant oak tree fell. It missed the fence, but unfortunately the limbs hit the fence and took down a good section. Didn't actually break the fence, but just crushed it down to the ground. And there is a place down the line here where the fence was stitched together when it was new. Some of that stitching came apart, so we need to put that back together as well. So I need to get this fence back in place. I've cut back all the limbs. I've exposed the fence so I can work with it. But if you ever tried to pull fence back into place by hand, it's just pretty much impossible. So I picked up this tool. It's called the Goldenrod, and it's a US-made fence stretcher. The company is Dutton Laneson, and these have been around for a really long time. I just never had one before. So with a little bit of research, this is what I found. Now you can buy some Chinese knockoffs, but I decided to go with the actual US-made model. I wanted to support them. This one costs about $90. There are some other models you can get. This one has the 3 hooks on it, and you can get some with just 2 hooks. There's another one that has like a soft release on it. So this is the 3-hook model. I've already found out just by doing a little bit of experimental setup, I didn't need the 3 hooks. The 3rd hook is really just for stretching smooth wire. It doesn't work with box wire. I don't think it'll work with barbed wire because basically as you tighten the fence rides through that 3rd hook to keep it tight. But if you have box wire, it's going to get hung up. And I think if you have barbed wire, it's going to get hung up too. So I didn't need this apparently. I think the 2-hook version would be all you would need with box wire. But we're going to give this thing a try and see how it works. I can already tell it's going to work pretty well. It's a decent quality made product. I expect it to be heavy duty enough to do what we want to do. The one complaint you see on the internet is that the paint is so thick. When it's new, it's difficult to work with, and I can see why, because it's not a great paint job. I mean, I guess all they're trying to do is keep it from getting rust formation on it, but it looks like they just dipped it in paint. So it's kind of a sloppy looking job, but it doesn't matter for a tool like this. So the point is, you've got to use it and kind of break it in for it to start working well. And you can see here that this hook is already working pretty well. First, you would move it and the spring wouldn't put it back in place, but now it does, and it should get better and better as we use it. Anyway, not a big deal. Let's go over here and try our first attempt with this thing. Now the first thing that I've been trying to do is just pull this fence up, and it's about, I guess about 8 inches short from where it needs to be. So I'm going to use the fence puller or tensioner to try and just pull the fence up on top of the post. And basically, it's just a come along, or like a jack. So that should work pretty well. I should set it on the side so that as I pull up, I can, well, that's pretty good actually. It's about a 4-foot fence, so that's about where it's going to go. You can see the mark where it was when it fell off. So I'm just going to throw one fence staple in here until we get the rest of it stretched where it needs to be. So to release this, you just basically open it and it'll release. There it goes, just like that. Not too bad. All right, let's stretch the fence horizontally. So here's where the fencing came apart, and this is where they stitched 2 rolls together. There's about an 8 to 10 inch gap in this wire. So I need to hook this up, and it doesn't matter, I guess, which direction, but I need to hook it up, and I want to open it as wide as it'll go to give me plenty of pull to attach those 2 wires together. If I can't quite get it, I can always use another piece of wire between those, but I really want to try and get this as tight as I can. So the first thing I'm going to do is open this all the way up, and then we'll attach the 2 ends. Now I don't want to hook close to the end because I want to have room to either twist this wire or add another piece to it. So I'm going to come back here about a foot and hook it here. You can see how this just opens up and there's some teeth in there that grab the fence. Open it up all the way so you can slip this through the wire and then close it on it. And as you tighten it, it should tighten up on that wire, but I'm going to make sure it's in there nice and tight to start with. Then we'll do the same thing on the other end. So as I click this, each move it gets about 1 inch tighter. Now that just slipped. But again, I think it's got to break in. It's getting there though, it's getting closer. I'm only about 2 inches away now. Look at that, we're a good inch past it now. I think I'll go one more click, and that way I can try and wrap these together. All right. I'll be honest, the hard part of here is I've got the camera exactly where I would normally stand to work. But I want to give the best view I can. Whoa, that had some tension on it. Nice. Now that was the critical connection up there. All these other ones, I've got about 6 that are disconnected. Now I can kind of grab it, I think, in the middle here and do the same thing with these other ones, but they're not going to be nearly as tight as that one was. Yeah, this third hook is in the way. If you're doing box wire, I would say don't get the 3-hook model. You don't need it, and you actually don't want it. So if you're doing smooth wire, yeah, get it. If you're doing box wire, don't get it. Because it's hitting on the end here. It's getting in my way. There we go. All right. Oh, nice. Plenty now. I can just wrap around. Hold all that tight. So the fence is tight, even though it's got some droops in it. It's really kind of the best we can do right now. Unless I were to put additional posts in the middle, but that's just, well, that's just how it is. And it's about 4 feet tall there, so it's good. We'll just tack this back in place and we'll be pretty good to go. A couple of people spotted this trick on my last video where I did fencing, and that is that these fence pliers hold a staple between those 2 grooves perfectly, so you don't have to mess with them with your gloves and getting your fingers pinched. You can just hold it there, drive it in like that. Pretty nifty. Well, there you have it. That's the Goldenrod fence tensioner. And as I mentioned several times, during this process. If you are stretching box wire and maybe even barbed wire, don't get the 3-hook model. I can only see that being useful for smooth wire. So just get the 2-hook model. There's another one with a soft release. I don't know if you need that either. This one wasn't too bad, but the soft release might be kind of nice. At any rate, I like it quite a bit, and it does the job. I love it when a simple tool does the job. If you're interested in one of these, I'll put a link in the description. It's an affiliate link. This is not a sponsored video, but I can share the link that I purchased from, and of course, if you purchase from there too, that will help out the channel just a little bit. So thanks for watching today. I appreciate you being here. This video was filmed almost in real time, which means I haven't been out here very long, and I'm sweating like crazy because the humidity is out of control. So thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to join us. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.